Oh, shit. This is where the show gets weird. Really weird, baby. Right here on the crystallized, fully metamorphosized Clark the Shark Talk Radio. Dude, I would say experience or extravaganza or maybe bonanza, but I'm just gonna say it's the Clark the Shark Talk Radio fucked up show. The most horribly fucked up and inane, insipid, awful talk radio show. You guys, my show is actually ranked number 1099 out of 1100 talk radio shows all over the internet, YouTube, and even on AM radio. The only one that was worse than mine, ranked, was some Uber driver in Tennessee. I don't even know his name, but he was ranked number 1100. And I, Clark the Shark, right here on Little Sharky's underground garage, baby, where I'm talking about the seeds and no one understands me. They're like, Sharky, you're too esoteric. We don't get you, Sharky. I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to go on with the way I am. I don't care if I'm ranked number 1,299 out of 1,300 talk radio shows. And then there's always like a pretty girl, and she's like, I really hate Clark the Shark the most out of all the girls. Dude, there's this girl up in LA. Okay, you know when I used to watch that little baby years ago? Like 3 years, me and the little baby were buddies, and people are like, what's wrong with Clark the Shark? He's never nice. And yet the baby likes him, and he likes the baby. It's just weird. Well, there's this one lady or girl, and I was all, hey, sweetie, they took the little baby away one day. These two black ladies, the baby's family or whatever, took the baby away from Clark the Shark, 2019, something like that. But anyway, the lady, who's a relative of a person I know, I'm not going to say who, but I'm all, hey, sweetie, any word, like, have you seen the little baby? And she's all, not my kid. Sorry. I'm like, all right, sweetie. And then she walked away going, shh, the fucking loser. You guys, I'm like crying over a baby or something. And the girl's like, just typical shit I've gotten for 59 years. Dude, the same scene from 1971, 1978, or 1988, or 1993, or 2008. There's always a pretty girl going, it's not my problem, Clark the Shark. 1-800-449-8255. You need to get a life, you fucking loser, and grow up. Right here on the Clark the Shit Show. But that girl or lady or whatever she is, she's not around me now. So I feel confident, a little self-assured and secure. I mean, come on, I'm Clark the Shark, 5'6", high squeaky voice. I mean, really, how self-assured could I really be, you guys? My show, I just find out today, is ranked on the internet number 1,099 out of 1,100 talk radio shows. And they're like, he doesn't have any knowledge about politics. And I'm like, you guys, you can say what you want. You can say I don't have a college degree. The family didn't want me. They didn't love me or something. Or, my sister hates me. Or they all hated me. Or whatever. It doesn't matter, you guys, because I, Clark the Shark, love the seeds. Yeah, dude, April 1966. I was only 1 year old in 1966, you guys, when this album came out. And I actually remember being just a baby in diapers and fucking rocking to this shit. You guys think I'm making that up. It's true. I mean, I went back in time. I traveled in a machine back to 1966, and I saw me as a baby, and I was all, dude. The baby was crawling around on the floor, shitting, diapers, or, just acting like a little brat. You know how they do. But I'm all, dude, here, come here, Clark the Shark. I want to play you this. And there was a little record player, turntable, one of those scratchy old 1960s pieces of shit. And I put on the seeds and I played it to me as a baby. And, the little baby was like nodding its head, listening to the seeds. And that's why I now listen to the seeds, you guys, because now I'm 59, it's 2024, and it altered history when I went back in time here in the Sharkulation and I played For Myself in April 1966. And one thing I learned that month when I was in Redondo Beach in Torrance in 1966 is they didn't throw me a birthday party. I was 1 year old, and they were burning me with cigarettes and stuff, and whipping me, like, dude, just making hot needles and sticking them in my arms. And I was just a baby. And then they were like pouring oil on me and grease and doing all this bad shit to me. And I was only one. And I'm like, here, give me that goddamn baby. I took me to another room and I played the seeds to me. And now I'm perfectly a much better human being 59 years later because of myself traveling time, going back and getting the baby away from my disgusting fucking weird family. I mean, my parents already had 7 kids. And then in 65, or, they went to Yosemite in 64. And my mom and dad got in a fight. I'm going to tell you a true story right here, you guys. My mom disappeared on the camping trip, got in some big fight with my dad in Yosemite. In, I guess it was August or July 64, summer vacation. My family was always fucking going to Yosemite in the 60s. I don't know why so many people back in the 60s went to Yosemite, but if they hadn't have gone, I wouldn't be here, you guys, because my mom and dad made up and they had like, a wild romance out there on the camping trip. They found my mom, and she was off wandering in the pines or pine barrens. It was like that scene in The Sopranos. Remember when Paulie and Chrissy were, they're out in the pine barrens on The Sopranos. Well, that was my mom, Joanne, in 1964 in Yosemite. She got in like a fight with my dad. And she wandered away, or they got in a real bad fight with all the kids, 7 kids, on a camping trip in Yosemite. And I actually went back in time, too, to Yosemite. I found my mom, and I'm like, Mom, dude, you got to get with my dad tonight here in Yosemite. And she's like, no, I'm not speaking with Gary. He's not my problem. I'm like, Mom, sweetie, you have 7 kids with Gary. You got to get with him. Come on, and she's all, no, Clark the Shark, I won't. And I'm all, Mom, if you don't, I won't exist. You've got to. Dude, this was straight out of like Back to the Future. And I was like, what was the fucking guy's name, dude? Remember the guy on guitar who's way ahead of his time? Like that guy in the 50s. Dude, the space guitar, the black dude. It was that scene, who was it, Morty or Marty or dude? No, that's Click with Adam Sandler. Well, it's all the same shit, you guys. It's a sharkulation because it's a circulation and it's a simulation. And I found my mom and I'm like, Mom, you must go be with my dad and not just be with him, go have sex. And she's like, no, I won't. I don't care about you, Clark the shark. You won't exist if I have my way tonight. And I'm like, Mom, Joanne, you got to listen to me. Much depends on this. The Clark the Shark show someday in the future. It's all, Mom, it's all a sharkulation. I can do with you what I want, sweetie. And she's like, you can't do anything, Sharky. You're back in the past here in August or July 1964. I'm not kidding you guys. This was getting intense. And I was like, Joanne, you listen to me. You must patch it together with Dad tonight. You've got to. And she's like, no, I won't. I've already got 7 kids. I don't need you. And I'm like, you don't do this to me. I'm not gonna exist. You remember the picture, you guys? The picture where Michael J. Fox, he's showing the people and they're disappearing. What's that guy's name, dude? Emmett Brown, his name in the movie. He's like, they're disappearing from existence. Dude, it was happening to me. I was disappearing and fading away. In a time travel, I looked at my hands and I could see through them. They were translucent. And it was like I didn't know what to do, dude. My mom and dad were in a bad fight and they were like going to get a divorce or something. It was real bad. And then somehow I started to pray. And you know me, you guys, I'm not the biggest God-fearing, God believer here on the Clark the Shark show. I'm not. But I began to pray to the Lord, me. I had to. I was back in time in 1964 in Yosemite on a camping trip with the Hagen's family. And the back of the station wagon, dude, just like they say in Vacation with Wally World, the smell was horrible. I mean, dude. But you guys, I didn't have time for all that trivia. I was on a mission to create me, yours truly, your humble servant, the Sharkalama Ding Dong, the Sharkadoodle Doo, from the golden EIB sharkerphone, not a microphone, bigger and better than Hush Bimbo, Hannity, Howard Stern, Rogan, Mario Lopez, Stryker, Kevin and Bean, all of them, Jed the Fish, it doesn't matter. Even Rodney. I bite my tongue, dare I say it. Bigger than Rodney Bingenheimer. More important at the microphone than all of them. It's a sharkerphone, not a microphone. And I had to get my mom and dad together in Yosemite. And my mom was out there. And you know what I did, you guys? I couldn't get through to her because she was just so stubborn. And she was like, I ain't having no more kids, Clark the Shark. You know, it's 1964. The Beatles are on the scene. I'm having fun now for the rest of my life. And I'm like, you got to have one more, baby. So I left my mom and I ran through Yosemite. And I was fading as I was running, you guys. I was disappearing. But I found a park ranger. And I said, sir. And he saw me and he's all, are you a ghost? Are you a specter? I can see through you. And I'm like, no, I'm just a regular human being from the future. I'm just a regular guy from 2024. But you've got to help me. I'm fading away. And the park ranger was like, what's wrong? And I'm like, my mom is lost. And he's all, dude, you look like you're 60 years old. Your mom is dead. And I'm like, she is in 2024. But here, in 1964, she's here. And the park ranger was like, you can't have a mom in 1964, boy. Are you fucking insane? I'm like, dude, I don't have time to explain right now, park ranger, but come with me. I found her. She's out here. I'm using my GPS right here on my Android. He's like, what the fuck is an Android? Who are you? I brought my little Verizon, Samsung, Android, back in time with me, the Clark the Shark Show, talk radio show. I brought it with me here to 1964. And you guys, back in 1964, it had network. I'm not kidding you guys. Don't ask me how, but it did. There must have been CIA secret shit before the ARPANET. There was a network, and I was getting it. And I was showing it to the park ranger guy, and he's all, "The fuck is this, Sheen? Shit, what are you?" I'm like, "I'm Clark the Shark, 1-800-449-8255, the Shark-a-Lamma-Ding-Dong, the Shark-a-Doodle-Doo from the future. And I need you to come with me, sir. My mom is down here. I want you to guide her back to my dad and all the other kids at that station wagon." And he's all, "Yeah, I saw the station wagon. I mean, the smell was horrible." I'm all, "I don't have time for that, Wally World. We got to get Joanne with Gary." And then me and that park ranger went, and we had to look for my mom because she disappeared even more, you guys, out into the Pine Barrens, into the Yosemite woodwork, the forest, or the jungle. Dude, Yosemite's a nightmare. I just discovered that, you guys, in a time travel machine 2024. I'll never fucking go to Yosemite again. I hate it. But anyway, we found my mom. And the park ranger's like, "Come on, Joanne." And she's all, "How do you know my name?" And he's all, "I know your name, sweetie, because Clark the Shark told me right here on the Shark-a-Doodle-Doo, Shark-a-Lamma-Ding-Dong, the Clark the Shark Show." And she's like, "Oh my God, I know him." And he's all, "I know you do, sweetie. We all know him." And anyway, she got all mushy and sentimental. And next thing I know, she's back with my dad, and the park ranger led her back. And all the kids were like, they weren't happy or something. They're like, "Damn, mom's back." And then they all had a party drinking Coca-Colas and Pepsis and eating pizza and shit. And then a bear came down, and they all locked themselves in a, station wagon that smells horrible, you guys, by the way. And the bear took their Cokes and Pepsis, and he was like drinking them like a human. He popped the lids and he drank them all. And before you knew it, there were more bears. There's like 8 bears at the campsite. And, I was back there still hanging out, looking around, like, where are all the homeless? Like, what's with 1964? There should be like nowhere to park and high rent, and 8 people from Belize and Honduras and El Salvador all living together. And, Gavin Newsom's giving them licenses. And people were like, "No, Sharky, you're back in the 60s. The governor is like brown. And he's a different kind of Democrat. There's not much difference really between him and Reagan or Goldwater. It's all the same. It's the 60s, baby." And I'm like, well, I like the 60s. I want to stay here. It's not crowded. It's cheaper. The rent's cheap. But I had to get back in the time machine and go. And all I know is I'm here. I don't know what happened, but my mom and dad were back together in 1964, and they bailed the camping trip. They went to a motel, and I guess they got like funky and freaky in that motel. And now here I am, Clark the Shark, 1-800-449-8255, baby. And I'm lucky I'm here, you guys, now. It was a big, stressful journey to go back in time and get born again. And then, like I said, later on, I heard the Seeds, Pushing Too Hard, and all these songs, you guys. This fucking amazing band I love, dude. Sky Saxon, of course, who reformed the band with many incarnations where it became Sky Saxon and the Seeds, which I don't like. I just like the Seeds. And there's all these other guys. And me, Clark the Shark, right here on Little Sharky's Underground Psychedelic Garage. It's better than Little Steven, baby. It's more than Pushing Too Hard. I want you to listen to all the tracks. Track number 1, baby. Can't Seem to Make You Mine. Now we know, like, that's all it was back in 64. My dad was like, "Joanne, I can't seem to make you mine. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. Do-do-do." But like they did eventually. And, when I was born in April 65, I came out of the womb. I'm like, where are the seeds? Give me some seeds, baby. Pushing too hard on Sharky. Too hard. And I like side two more. Try to understand. And nobody spoil my fun, baby. Clark the Shark. Because it's a hard life. I just traveled in time back to 64. I put my parents together and they were fighting in Yosemite. And people tell me today, like your mom and dad, you don't even know, Sharky, before you were born, they were always fighting and he was always beating the kids. And I'm like, well, duh. It was the 50s, the 60s. That's what people did. They drank and they fought and they beat their kids and shit. You can't be trusted, Sharky. I love side two of this, you guys. Garage, rock and roll. Excuse. You guys, don't listen to me, Clark the Shark, when I bitch and whine that I'm only 5'6". And God's like, that's an excuse, Sharky. If you dress nice, you dress better, you cut your hair, you may be falling in love. I'm like, I don't think so, God. I'm just a guy, who dirty scoundrel, rotten, filthy, white trash kind of guy. You're pushing too hard on me, Lord. You tell me to dress nice. I can't do that. I'm like Joe Dirt. That wouldn't be like Clark the Shark. I got long hair. I listen to Van Halen, baby, not Van Hagar. And I make damn sure right here on Little Sharky's Underground Garage that I will take you crystallized, desensitized, and traveling on a crystal ship that even the Lizard King can't understand back to the 1960s, baby, in a garage. Oh, dude, can you smell the patchouli oil, baby, and the weird, wild girls? Why was it that, there were weird, wild girls in the 60s, but, never again? And people are like, Sharky, come on, there were. I'm like, no, not like the 60s, the seeds, baby. I love this shit, you guys. Garage rock, not psychedelic. It wasn't there yet. Psychedelia is 1967, baby. Everyone's dropping acid and mescaline and mushrooms and, dude, just fucking too much LSD, marijuana, and what's that fucking pachanga? But, dude, they were just smoking it, whatever it was. They might have smoked patchouli oil. I don't know. Dude, what is that shit? Peyote, Sharky, duh. They were smoking it and eating it and slamming it, grinding it up. Everyone was on speed and fucking shit. Slamming shit, dude. There were even people slamming fucking smack like heroin. It was a fucked up time, you guys. Jimi Hendrix, dead. Janis Joplin, dead. Later on, Keith Moon, much later, dead. But dead nonetheless, you guys. The Lizard King himself, Jim Morrison, dead. Sad. And Clark the Shark, dead. You guys, me too. But I'm here somehow on December 11 or 10, I'm not sure, Wednesday. It's Uber Eats Prop 22 day, you guys, tomorrow, I guess. It used to be Wednesday, but I traveled in time here tonight, back from 1964, because I got to get my Uber Eats Prop 22, baby. Because that's really the only fucking money you make at Uber Eats now. Because, you don't make any, driving the shit. Right here on the Clark the Shit Show. And, when I traveled time, people say, Sharky, you were only gone for 30 seconds. And I was like, no. It was a year and 3 months and 8 days because I was hanging out with the seeds in a garage, an underground garage, baby. And the guitars were distorted. The speakers, they were tearing holes. And I know I was there, I swear. And they're like, you weren't, Sharky. It was all a dream. And I'm all, no, I saw Angelia. And they're like, it was just a dream, Sharky. You didn't see her. I'm like, I saw the Seeds in the 60s, and I saw Yosemite, and I saw Joanne, and I saw Gary. I saw all the kids on a camping trip. They never even set the tent up. They just stayed in the back of the station wagon, and the smell was horrible while the Chevy Chase was like, yeah, Sharky, I'll second that notion. He'll second that emotion just like Barry Gordy might write way back then. Way back in the day, baby, where they had garages and girls and alcohol and weed and acid. But not really yet. Not really. Everyone didn't know what to do. They were hanging out in a garage, fucking around with distorted fuzz tone guitars and even fuzz tone bass. And they're like, where is Clark the Shark? It's 1966. Where is he? And I'm all, you guys, I'm there. I'm everywhere, forever. Traveling somewhere in time. Me, Sharky. And I'll take you forward and I'll take you back. And I can take you anywhere and everywhere. Right here on the fabulously amazing, beautiful, and tender, kinder, gentler talk radio. The Clark the Shit Show, baby. 1-800-449-8255. The Sharkalama Ding Dong. Me. Yours truly. Better than Wolfman Jack. Because I'm the Wolfman Jack on crack, motherfucker. And I just gave you the only review of the Seeds that you will ever want and you will ever need. Because I traveled all over the universe and back. And I still couldn't find God. And he's like, Sharky, you never will. But I will show you the Seeds, your beginnings, Sharky, in 1964. Just a seed, just an egg, and a sperm, and time. Down, 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 do 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 do, down. Shark has come today. Hey, I thought about the subway, you guys. Might need a new place to live in 2024. Right here on the Clark the Shark Show. I hope I don't end up homeless. But I know I can always go back to 66 and hang out with the Seeds in an underground garage. We'll rip holes in the speakers. And I'll tell them stories about Clark the Shark. How 20 years from now, in 1986, I was doing the same thing and inventing grunge. And the Seeds are like, no way, Sharky. That wasn't you. That was Blake Douchebag. I'm like, no. I swear to God, it wasn't him. It was me. It was me. It was me. It was me, Sharky.